Juwan Blount. The Defensive Player of the Week, and also named the Co-National Defensive Player of the Week by the Sports Network, was Charleston Southern linebacker Calvin Bryant. The Big South Special Teams Player of the Week was Coastal Carolina's Ladarius Hawthorne. And the Crons Brand Freshman of the Week for Week 1, Coastal Carolina redshirt freshman cornerback Samson Baldwin. So congratulations to those individuals for their fine performances in their Week 1 action. Some notes to pass along as well before we hear from our coaches. First, believe it or not, the Big South had its best opening week in terms of FCS wins, collecting 3 FCS victories this past Saturday out of 4 FCS contests. So congratulations to our squads for a great opening weekend. Coastal Carolina is 1-0 for the third straight year and 6th time in school history. Charleston Southern is 1-0 for the first time since 2010, and Gardner-Webb is also 1-0 for the first time since 2011. So great starts for those, including our new head coaches, both Jamie Chadwell from Charleston and head coach Carroll McCray from Gardner-Webb, picking up wins in their coaching debuts on Saturday. 5 Big South teams will open up their home schedules this Saturday. We played a record 5 season openers on the road this past week. So those 5 teams that open on the road will open at home this coming Saturday. Coastal Carolina is ranked number 22 in this week's FCS Coaches Poll and number 24 in the Sports Network ranking, meaning that Big South has had a football squad ranked nationally for 22 consecutive weeks. And we've had 4 teams receive votes in yesterday's Sports Network poll as well. Charleston Southern's win over the Citadel ended an 11-game road losing streak at FCS opponents. So congratulations to the Bucks on that achievement. In our last note to pass along, Gardner-Webb's defense held Furman to just 43 offensive plays and 213 yards of offense. The fewest plays Gardner-Webb allowed since becoming a Big South football member in 2002, and the least amount of yards allowed by a Division I opponent, FBS or FCS, since the Running Bulldogs held Georgia Tech to 199 yards on October 11th of 2008. So great defensive effort by the Running Bulldogs. And with that, we'll turn it over to the head coach of Gardner-Webb, Coach Carroll McCray. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, Mark. Good morning.
Congratulations to you on getting victory number 1, and as well as the Running Bulldogs' victory over Furman. Heading on the road this coming weekend, going up to Marshall. I want you to open up and talk about the Furman win, and then we'll get your thoughts on Marshall after that.
Okay, be glad to. Well, certainly we're delighted that we were able to to win a football game this past week, and proud for young men in the program that have transitioned with us, Mark, and I thought they fought extremely hard to pull it off, especially when we went down 2 scores and late in the third, early in the fourth quarter, and they continued to play. And as we work to try to get things going here, certainly that's something that we've been striving for, to try to improve, to continue to play hard regardless of what circumstances are. So we gained a little bit of ground there. We hope that we can build on those things. We have an extremely amount of work we still have to do. Our goal for the week is to try to improve our football team in every area. We had some positives coming out of the ball game, and we want to try to build on those and see if we can make those stronger each and every week. And then certainly we had some deficiencies that really could have cost us the football game that we need to work on. So I think that's a great challenge going into the week. I was 2 things going into the game was to try to stop their run and work hard to establish a run game that we really needed here in our program. And we did gain some ground in those areas. And the greatest concern I had being an opening game was special teams. And we did some good things in our coverage teams, but overall we proved that was something that will continue to be an area that we got to work extremely hard on. We had a very short punt early in the ball game that put us in bad field position. We had a mistake on a snap with our punter in the second half coming out of the locker room that put us down another score, and then we did have an extra point that they got their hand on. The ball was kicked low. So there's quite a bit that we have to work. We've already been working on, and we will continue to work on this week. But I was proud of some of the things we got done. We were able to get Jawan Blunt moving in the run game, which was a credit to our linemen, and I thought more than anything we did a little better job putting the hats on the right people to get some seams in the run game going, and then we felt like that would help Lucas Beatty and some of the receivers that I think people in the Big South know get our pass game going, and that proved to be true. We did not get one-handed as we had in the past, which I thought would be a demise for us. So that will continue to be our challenge to try to be a little more balanced than we were toward the end of last year. Defensively, they hit a couple of big plays on us, which, we let a post get deep on us and scored a 70-yard score there. And we had some people get out of place. We weren't physical enough on the edge of the defense several times, which gave them first downs and allowed their offense to stay on the field. So, looking back on it, we're grateful that the scoreboard turned in our favor finally in the fourth. But at the same time, we have to have much better practice this week and then make a whole lot of improvement to push this thing closer to where we want to be each week.
All right, thank you, Coach. And as anyone who would like to ask a question of Coach McCray, please press *1 on your phone at any time, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click Raise Hand. And while those questions are coming in, Coach, give us your thoughts on Marshall.
Well, they had a great opening win, and I think that the Marshall program is, with Coach Holliday taking that thing over just a couple years back, in transition, it looks as if he probably, from what I understand, is fielding a team that probably turns toward his flavor of what he wants to do there. They're long and lean. They're athletic on defense. That's the first thing you notice about his recruiting efforts defensively. They can really run. Offensively, their quarterback is a very dynamic player, and he's got some good backs with him in the backfield, and then some really good receivers that prove to gain ground very, very quickly. And as you would imagine, a rather large offensive front. They just try to wrap up and smother some folks, and that's what they were able to do last week in their opener and their big win. They let the run game play a positive for them, so the quarterback could pick and choose where he wanted to throw the ball, and probably more than anything, when he scrambles, he's very, very dangerous. So he's the X factor right now. Looks to me like in their offense, but looks as if Coach Holliday's been able to recruit the positions he wants to, and you can see that he's getting things going like they want to do up there. I think they're probably going to have an outstanding season. And as they continue to move along in their league.
All right, thank you, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions for Gardner-Webb head coach Carroll McCray. Again, *1 on your phone to ask a question, or click the Q&A link near the top of your browser and click Raise Hand if you're joining via the web. And, Coach, first question for you, I believe, from a member of the Marshall media. I don't have a name or affiliation, so please introduce yourself before your question of Coach.
Well, this is Derek Red from the Charleston Daily Mail. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing fine, Derek. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Hey, you were talking a little bit about the defense just a second ago. I mean, this is a defense that last year had not just struggles, but significant struggles in stopping just anybody. And then here they come out and against Miami, really, kind of established, especially in the second half, a big defensive presence. What are they doing that works for what you've seen, and how much does that surprise you that you were able to see that type of turnaround in such a short period of time?
You're talking about the Marshall defense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know as much about them last year as I do just watching the game that you saw, but when I see them up front, these are guys that are long and lean and very athletic. I think what I saw viewing the video is if you get on them, they don't stay block long because they're athletic and they're really long-armed young men. I think the junior linebacker from Valdosta, Holmes, he really came downhill and showed up in the run game. He's a big, thick guy that is really physical, and it looks as if, schematically on the back end, they have confidence in their young men that they can man up. They do quite a bit of matchups with your receivers and things to try to get their athletic people to your quarterback. So I think it looked like, everything was tied together. It looked like the forcing unit was tied together with the back end very, very well, and didn't see many mistakes on the field. As you said, maybe early in the ball game, they were still getting accustomed to each other, but in the second half, they really bared down in last Saturday's ball game and played with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of technique, which helped them close things out.
And this team runs a five a nickel package. Looked at its base, and you're talking about matchups with receivers. Kenny had a really big game for you guys last week. How important do you feel he's going to be in this week's game, and how important do you feel a guy like him, a preseason all-conference guy, is going to be for you through the season?
Well, Kenny's very important to us in the fact that he gives us a player we can turn to and try to get some matchups. Now, each week is different, and the talent on the other side determines how much you can lean on a guy that is on your football team. I think that defensively, Marshall does a really good job matching your formations and matching your personnel groupings, and I think certainly they'll make sure they know where Kenny is. At the same time, it'll be our job to try to make sure we put him in spots to hope we can get a matchup or two that would favor us, if we can find one, and see if that'll help us a little bit get a run game going. I think certainly if we get one-handed and get behind the chains, we'll be in difficulty most of the evening up there. So we got to gain some ground on first down. I think that'll be critical. Second down call will be critical to make sure we have an opportunity to not have long yards so they can turn those defensive ends loose on us on third down. But we hope we can find some matchups that will give us an opportunity. But their back end played very, very well. They do have a lot of DBs that run extremely well and are athletic, and they have great confidence because they play very close to the line of scrimmage.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. And, Coach, next question for you is from Matthew Clark of the Daily Courier. Go ahead, Matthew.
Coach, first off, congratulations. Sorry I wasn't there to see it, but the wife and vacation seemed to overrule football.
I understand that.
Coach, talk a little bit more about the maturation of Juwan. And he obviously did very well against a good Furman defense. The running game was a bit of a concern for you going into it. You said you had a couple backs that you were looking at with him and JJ, but Juwan seemed to really kind of come of age and had a very decent game on Saturday. Talk about his maturation and what you hope to gain more out of him leading into this week going up to Marshall.
Well, I think the first thing is, I think I noted last week that Juwan really came into camp in really good shape, and he had prepared well this summer. He was able to stay healthy throughout camp. He practiced every day. He didn't miss a snap, and I think his conditioning really proved well for him late in the ball game. I thought he caught a second breath there in the third quarter and found a little bit of running space, but I think more than that, he finished on the back end of some things for us that really helped us keep some drives going. We were able to get JJ in the ball game, and he's a change of pace guy. He got on the edge a little bit and kind of gave us a fast break guy to throw in there and change speed on the defense this past week. But Juwan did a good job. I think he played his best late third quarter, early fourth quarter, when we really needed to get on the field and keep some drives alive because we needed to score. We were down, and thought he ran down behind his pads and finished on the back end of some first down chains. They really gave us an opportunity to stay on the field and finish some drives.
How do you plan on furthering his progression going into a very tough Marshall defense on Saturday?
Yeah. Well, I think we'll have a great challenge this week, and I think it's going to be extremely difficult for us to find running lanes in there because, as I said to the other caller, I think getting a hat on them is priority one, and what they do a good job of is getting off blocks because they're athletic and not staying blocked very long. I thought that the big linebacker they got in the middle, that about a 250-pound guy, he stays in the box. He doesn't move, and I think it's going to be a great challenge for us to look for formations and try to find angles and numbers best we can. Last week, they did not provide opportunities much for their opponent to do that, but they were going to have to be calculated and get the ball to Juwan and ask him to continue to run hard. And our best opportunity, I think, is going to make it a 10-yard ball game and make sure we handle that. And then, if there's a chance for a deeper play, it may be. We'll know that more as the game goes. But I think we've got to play the sticks and move the chains, try to stay on the field offensively, and really be our best defense to keep their quarterback off the field, to be honest with you.
To follow up, to kind of switch gears a little bit, the defense held very well against Furman, but I know you early on in your comments you talked about some of the struggles that you see with your defense. Talk a little bit more, expand a little bit more on some of the struggles you see with your defense from week one, and then how you plan on trying to address those going into week two.
Well, first thing that continues to concern us defensively is just our depth. We were fortunate that we did not have to play tons of plays Saturday night, and we had a lightning delay 45 minutes, and it really cooled things off, so that played in our favor. I don't know how the weather will be up in West Virginia, but we're thinning some spots. We're going to have to play more young people to try to keep fresh against a team like Marshall, and that certainly concerns us, although we need game experience, and we have to look at the big picture as we get this thing started. But we've got to be more physical on the edge. These are big old offensive linemen they got up there, and I think the main thing we don't want to do is just get engulfed where we can't get off a block. They did a real good job of that last week of just covering some people up and letting their running backs run. And then, like I said earlier, their quarterback is so dangerous, very strong arm, but really has great feet. So trying to pin him up all day will be a great chore for our defense.
Okay. Coach, again, congratulations, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good week.
You too.
Thank you, Matthew. And, Coach, no more questions for you, so we'll let you go. Thanks for joining us. Congrats again on the win, and good luck Saturday at Marshall.
Thanks, Mark, and I'd like to wish good luck to all the Big South teams this week. Y'all have a good week.
All right, thanks. You too.